Hello, folks. Welcome to Cousins Reality TV. My name is Josh.
And I'm Beth.
All right, and today we are talking about week 1 of Big Brother 27. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of it, Beth, how are you feeling about week 1? What's your overall thoughts?
Well, to be honest, but as for overall, I think that it's a pretty good week. I like how things ended up. So I'm still pretty excited for the season. I think it's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be a good one. It's starting out strong enough. What about you?
I agree. I agree. I think it started off really, really strong. I've got people that I like, people that I dislike less. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So we'll start off with, I mean, we kind of already talked about Thursday's episode. So we'll talk about Sunday's episode. Yeah. I had a list of things that I wanted to talk about. I don't have it pulled up, of course. But how did you feel about Sunday's episode? I think we started off with kind of Vince going over who he was going to nominate, and there was the whole shower incident.
Yes. Okay. So, I will say, spoiler alert for, future conversation on this topic, is that I feel like, we were both pretty big fans of Vince when it came to Thursday when we talked about it. I feel like as the weeks went on, I kind of liked him a little less. And but yeah, Showergate. Are we talking about Showergate? Do you want to start with that, or
Yeah. Is that what that's called? I could never remember what it's called. Showergate. That's it.
Showergate? I mean, it's like it's ridiculous, but it makes complete sense at the same time. Like as far as her behavior was completely selfish and inconsiderate. I mean, 100%. You're in a house with all these people. You're one of 17 people. You're showering in the HOH's room, and you're in there for 2 hours. The HOH can't even shower. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. So, in that aspect, absolutely. But, is it a reason to evict someone? But when it's week 1 and everybody's trying to find a target because they don't want it to be on them, you handed them, on a silver platter, a great reason to put you up. So she did that to herself, but it's funny to me, like, do you not watch the show? Like, I don't remember if she said she was a fan, but I would assume if she was friends with a past host, she would have at least watched that season. So how do you not know that behavior is kind of, just one reason for people to dislike you? So how did you feel about it?
No, I completely agree. I completely agree. And I'm glad you said that about Vince, because I'm liking Vince less and less the more I see him.
Yeah.
And actually, I have a new tidbit for you that I just found out yesterday.
All right, lay it on me.
About Showergate. So there is a lovely woman. Her name is Sharon Thrupp, I think. I can't pronounce her last name. I apologize, Sharon. She has a sort of interviewee podcast thing she does on YouTube, and she was interviewing Julie Chen. And one of the things she asked Julie Chen was about Showergate and how is that really a reason to nominate someone? And Julie Chen said, well, here's the thing. She was not showering up there for 2 hours. Her shower only lasted about a half hour. So they were actually having like a one-on-one for that amount of time. And
why would they edit it that way?
Because all the house guests thought that she was up there showering that whole time.
But I wonder why they didn't, because it looked like that way to us, though, too, as viewers, right? That's what I thought watching it. So why would they give her that bad edit?
I don't know. But the worst part about it is Vince didn't correct anybody.
Yeah. Well, there's another thing that Vince did as the week went on, too, that I didn't like, but I think that was Wednesday's episode, so we'll have to wait till we get to there. But yeah, that's terrible. Why wouldn't he say that?
Exactly. He just let them think that.
Wow. I mean, I guess in a way I understand, because he's HOH, and if he knew people were kind of looking at her negatively, then, hey, that's an easy nomination for him. But it's kind of dirty. Yeah, it's kind of dirty. But you know what else, though? How come, did Ashley defend herself at all? Because I know her and Catherine kind of had a bit of a confrontation about it. did that get smoothed over between, like, did she let her know? Like, no, I was, we were talking. Well, I guess you can't really tell people that either because of Netflix.
And
Man.
what sucks about it too is that I don't think the feeds came out until Sunday, so we literally would have no idea if that was true or not.
Oh. Well, you know what? Julie Chen doing the Lord's work by clearing Ashley's name. Wow, that changes everything, really, about it.
Yeah.
Wow, Vince is playing the game, but he's starting to seem more like a sneaky player, and I don't always respect that. I mean, I guess in certain cases, but I don't like the way he's doing it. I don't like the way he's doing it, and it's a far cry because on Thursday I thought he was going to be one of my favorites, but now I'm like, I don't know.
I agree, and we'll get into Vince a little bit more. One thing I actually forgot to bring up that happened first was that Amy was the accomplice.
She was. I had seen on social media some people were guessing her before the episode had aired, and they had showed, like some evidence to back it up. So, it makes sense. It made sense at the time, but I would not have suspected her at all, like without that being pointed out. That was very random and weird. And the funny part, which again I'm kind of skipping forward though, is that they thought it was they originally. And then it ended up that she ended up on the block anyway. And nobody had any idea that it was her.
I know. And who was it? I think it was Lauren, who was like, logically it has to be a female. Like, she was smart in that regard, and no one would listen to her.
But didn't you say that too when we talked the last time?
I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Thank you for giving me the credit, though, but I don't think I did.
Well, I saw it. So I must have read it online then. Maybe I saw it online before the fact. But yeah, that was a brilliant point to it. So, I mean, that would have been a huge clue, too, if more people would have kind of latched on to her opinion, to kind of, But I think at this point, it's beneficial that Amy is in the game anyway. So I'm glad she didn't get called out.
I agree.
I'm glad she didn't get called out at this point. At this point, this can change at any moment.
At this point, yes. What else did I have down? My least favorite house guest. Are you ready for it?
No, because I wonder if we have the same one, and I was thinking we should go 1, 2, 3 and say the name at the same time to see if it's.
All right, we'll test it. We'll test it. All right, ready? 1, 2,
2,
3. Jimmy.
Jimmy. Of course it's Jimmy. Of course it's Jimmy. From the moment he opened his mouth disrespectfully towards Rachel, I was like, you know what? And it only got worse. Like, I thought, like, okay, at first I'm like, you just don't like him because he's talking negatively about Rachel. He's terrible. I mean, he's Heisem 2.0 is what he is.
Yeah, he's just, I don't even like watching him. And it's not even like, if someone wants to come against Rachel, that's fine if it makes sense for their game. But he's doing it almost spitefully. Well,
and he's just extremely arrogant.
Yes.
And cocky, and that's toward everyone. Like, you take Rachel out of the game, and he's still, how he was telling, I think it was Nikki and Morgan, like, I've got Vince's ear, and blah. No, you don't.
Right.
What makes you think that? But just the way that he's going to rub people the wrong way. I mean, I think he's going to be a Heisem. I think it's going to be the exact same thing where he's going to turn into like this dictatorship, and people are going to be over it so fast. He's going to be public enemy number 1. I mean, unless he's kept in the house as a target for, because a lot of times they do things like that. But I don't care to watch him.
Nope.
At all. Like,
me neither.
No, he's just painful.
Arrogant.
But
we'll get more into that because we have a lot more to talk about him from Wednesday's episode.
Yes.
Oh my God. Sure. Going off my notes here. Let me know. Jump in if you have anything you want to touch on from Sunday's episode.
Well, I had a couple notes as well. And shower date was number one, Jimmy was number two. And the other thing I had from Sunday's episode was we've got to talk about Kelly for volunteering to go on the block, and it was several times that
Yeah.
she did. Um, Her game has been hard to watch. She clearly knows nothing about Big Brother. You never volunteer yourself to go on the
Nope.
block. I don't know what she's thinking. I don't think she is thinking. I know that she's trying to prove her loyalty to Vince and stuff like that. And it's like, you know what? That's great. You do need a ride or die in the game, absolutely 100%. But you can't just have one person. The two of you, especially when the house is so like there's so many people there right now, it's never going to be just two people. You need a group of people. And she has put all of her eggs in the Vince basket, and she just doesn't have any idea what she's doing. I don't think at all. And yeah, I didn't mind her, but now I don't like her at this point. I don't see how that could how that could turn around as a fan of the game. How do you feel about
Yep. I completely agree. Yeah, and again, I have more to touch on that on Wednesday when she volunteered a second time. We'll touch base on that because my God.
it's so.
And then it's just the fact. We'll get into it because oh God, it was brutal. Like stupid gameplay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I can't even read my handwriting for my notes. Did you say you had other notes to me to bring up?
That was all that I had for Sunday. I had talking about Jimmy because that was when he first started talking about Rachel, and I was like, you know what? I don't like this guy. And then I had the Kelly volunteering because originally it was Wednesday, and it was so weird too that it was like, who do you think I should put up? And immediately she's like, I think you should put me up.
Right.
I mean, what are you doing? Who does that? So, I mean, and I told you
I came here to play. I came here to play.
Well, but you're not, though, because, like, one of the biggest, it's like, the top quotes in Big Brother is, like, number one, expect the unexpected. Number two is, like, pawns go home.
Right.
And, and not only that, the other thing that you're doing by putting yourself out there is you're setting yourself up in that situation to be the perpetual pawn. That's going to be her role of the season.
Yep.
Going forward is people are always going to put you up. It's going to be an easy one. We're always going to put Kelly up. So she really screwed herself over. I don't see at this point, even though unfortunately I chose her as my winner when we had our last conversation.
Well, I chose Jimmy, so
at this point, I don't see any way that Kelly is going to win this game. She is reckless and going rogue, and I don't. Yeah, no, it's horribly messy gameplay, and to not her benefit. Like I don't feel that she was doing a risk with a high reward because I don't understand. She could have stayed off the block completely. That would have been a bigger reward.
Yep.
Who would have thought her and Vinny were together anyway? And is he even really with her? From his conversations in the diary room, it doesn't really sound like he's, dead set on the final two with her, is what I'm getting.
Okay. I mean, we'll I think I have a few things on that too. From some of the same things that were said on, I can't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday, actually, Thursday's episode. He kind of said a few things, and they mentioned a few things, and I'm just kind of like, huh, all right. But yeah, we'll get into that. I'm trying to think what else I have for Sunday. Oh, the Have Not room. I don't feel like it looks that bad. It doesn't even look that uncomfortable compared to some of the other seasons.
True, but I do think the bed situation would be weird because you almost have to sit in, like, sleep in a certain position to be... And they don't have pillows. I don't like that either. That would be terrible.
I think they bring pillows in there, though.
Oh, they do? Oh, okay. Because I thought in the first episode that maybe it was Zach. And it was like, there's no pillows. And I was like, oh my gosh, for real? That would be awesome.
No, I think they can have pillows and blankets in there. I think. I could be wrong, but I feel like I've seen it before.
Okay. I do think it's an interesting room. I like how they tied that into the... Hold on.
So one other thing I wanted to bring up for Sunday's episode is how did you feel overall about the nominations of Zay, Amy, and oh my God, what's her name? Ashley.
I think that for his game, it was probably the best choices for him. I think that, Amy, once she started crying over Ashley possibly being nominated, I think she kind of signed her own, demise as far as getting put up on the block. And it was very odd to me too, because it's like, they all knew they had the BB Blockbuster and all of that stuff too now. So just because you're nominated, you got the veto and the
Yeah.
Blockbuster. So it wasn't like she was even for sure going to be on the block on Thursday night. Why are we crying? At that point, she knew her for like a day, 2 days, and you're crying over the fact she's going to get nominated. I guess she said she was upset because she thought the shower thing was unfair. Maybe she, though, knew what we know now.
It could
And
be.
maybe that's why it upset her so much. So you know what? Now thinking about that, I'm looking at that in a different way. Because
Yeah.
maybe that's what she was so upset about. Like, that's not at all what happened, and everybody's putting this target on her, and she didn't even do anything wrong.
Right.
And you know what else, though? Off this subject for a second. I think it was Wednesday episode, they did another edit to make it look like she was taking up everybody's time in the shower.
Yes, with the veto meeting or something. Or with the...
Yes.
Yeah, it was the veto meeting.
Waiting to pick the players. Yeah, waiting to pick the players.
That's it.
They're her dirty edits.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
I wouldn't... I mean, if they would have showed the other side of it, like, this is what the house thought was going on, but then showed us what really happened, that would have been totally fair, because I do think we needed to know about what was going on because it was such a big deal and ultimately why she ended up on the block. But I don't know why they wouldn't show that to us as viewers. That's really odd to me, actually.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Now, I don't know if maybe she turned the shower on and was talking to Vince for a while and just didn't get in the shower, maybe. But yeah, I don't know why it wasn't brought up. That's really shitty. And then that actually makes more sense going into Wednesday's episode, where she was crying to him in the HOH room for her getting nominated, because we don't know anything about what was talked about in the HOH room.
Well, and why did you put her up then? Because, right. I mean, she told you, like, she thought she was an ally for you. I understand the paranoia, though, on her part, where if everybody keeps coming up to you, making it sound like you're in trouble, like, and that's why you put her up, though, because she wanted to talk to you and you never gave her a chance to. This is really not looking good for Vince now. This is really changing my opinion of him even more so. Like, I wasn't as into him as I was, but now I'm like, he's really playing sneaky. And I get that you have to in Big Brother, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like that at all. Now I like it even less.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. When Julie said that, I was like, huh. And that was my first thought, was like, Vince, you piece of doo-doo.
Yes. Yes. And I get it, but you know what it's kind of reminding me of, which obviously this was way to the other side of the extreme, but remember Sneaky Matt that told everybody, was it that his wife was sick or whatever?
BB12, like, yep. His wife had a rare disease, yeah.
Game. Yes, he just played a really dirty game. And Vince, that's kind of, putting Vince in that same kind of category for me. I mean, obviously it's not to that extreme, but I don't like when people play kind of a sneaky, slimy game. And I think that, yeah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And yeah, and I honestly don't feel like he's made the best decisions this week as HOH. But I mean, his nominations.
Well, what did you think of his nominations?
Yeah, his nominations were valid. Like, he wanted to do what was best for the house, because he's a, I won't say the word. But we'll get into that a little bit more as we move into Wednesday's episode. For his game, and for him to be as clean free as possible, those were the best nominations he could have made.
It makes it look even worse, though, that he made that enemy in Ashley when he didn't have to, because he could have put up Amy, Zay, and Kelly then, and he would have had, I mean, Kelly was basically begging him to do it, so you wouldn't have had any bad blood there. I mean, Amy, well, the one thing, though, is that Amy's got Rachel in her corner, which is going to be, but I still think that it would have been better to have just did Kelly instead of making an enemy of Ashley, because I believe that she wasn't going to go after him either. I think that they had that agreement in that first competition, and I think she was stuck by it. So that actually made an enemy of her for him. So I feel like that move was kind of dumb. But I think about it.
You know what? I actually have some more notes on Sunday. I had a different pen color for my other notes. I thought that was Wednesdays, but no, I still have some more thoughts on Sunday.
Okay. All right, what is it?
So one of the things was, I can't remember who it was, but it was Vince and someone else. They were talking in the bathroom and being like really quiet. And I'm just there watching this. I'm like, why are you not talking in the HOH room where it's quiet and private? I'm like, this is stupid. Like, you're trying to be sneaky and quiet. Just go to the freaking HOH room. I don't know. That was like the smallest thing ever. I was like, it's stupid.
Yeah. I don't remember that exactly, but
I can't remember who he was talking to. But yeah, that just irked me. I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
But that was something small.
Well, that's one of your advantages of being HOH. Why wouldn't you use it?
Exactly. Like, stupid. Another thing I wrote down was Zach clearly doesn't watch the show because he had no idea that Rachel met her husband on the show. So clearly
I thought that too, but the only other thought I had is, how old is Zach? Like, maybe he would have been really young and didn't start watching until the last 10 seasons. I mean, that was a while ago now if you think about it, but you're not like a super fan if you've watched 2 or 3 seasons.
Exactly.
That's not like, yeah. So anyway, did you have other points? You said you had a couple other notes. What was your next?
Last thing I had was, I don't know if you noticed this during the nomination ceremony, but did you see Rachel at the nomination ceremony?
I don't think so.
She was dressed up like she was at a Traders Round table.
Oh, was she really?
Yes, I swear she had that same outfit on at the Traders. I'm just like, why, girl? You're dressing up like you're at the round table.
You show her on. Are you confused now? No, I didn't. I didn't pay attention to that at all. No, I'll have to go back and look at it though.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a picture. It was hilarious. I'm like, I love it.
Yes, please do. Oh my gosh, no, I didn't see that.
That's all I had for Tuesday. Did you have any Sunday? Do you have anything else to put in there?
I don't think so. I think we got everything for Sunday that we could possibly get at this point. I think we covered all those bases, because it's hard to knowing what happens, to not fast forward.
I know, exactly. We keep
go all over the place.
Right. And I can't even that's what 3.5 hours of content. I can't even remember everything that happened during those episodes.
Oh, I know. I try to write down some key points that I'm like, we got to definitely discuss this and this, but that was all that I had for.
Yes. So let's move on to Wednesday.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't even remember much that happened on Wednesday's episode other than the veto and the nomination ceremony. Then there were all those alliances that were created, and I loved the fact that there was that 6-person alliance that came together. I forgot what they're called already. Something about the
heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters, yes. And then Rachel's in the diary room like, yeah, sure. I want you out. I want you out. I want you out. I want you out.
She's right, though. I mean, what's she going to say when there's a group of people that's like, do you want to be in an alliance with me? She can't be like, no, because that's going to put a target on her back. So, of course, she's going to say yes. Anyone would, but, well, maybe not Kelly. Kelly would be the one that's
Kelly, yeah. I'm going to nominate you guys. It's just, it's so refreshing to see an old school Big Brother player playing this, because anybody nowadays, they'd be like, yeah, I'm working with this person. I'm working with this person. We're good. She's like, I'm not working with anybody. Right. I'm working with Amy. That's it. And it's just, it's so refreshing, because I'm so sick of all this kumbaya on these past couple seasons. It's nice to have an old school.
The house.
Yes. And she didn't do any of that this week, and it was great to watch. Loved it. What else happened? What do you have?
Well, I have a point that I was going to make about Wednesday's episode that's really not here nor there. But one of the things that I've always loved about Big Brother, I feel like the editing on there, like as far as like making things sound funny and the music and, like they always do such a good job of that. I feel like I really enjoy, sometimes how they do things on there. But this week, their time fillers were so missing the mark for me. Like that whole segment about Adrian and the laundry, I didn't find that funny or entertaining at all. I'm like, what am I watching? This is the most entertaining thing that you have to showcase. What is going on? And then Ava showing the big booty. Like, what is this? Like, it was just so boring to me. I'm like, is this the best that you have to do like as a time filler? I was not impressed.
They had to fill that extra half hour with something. Like,
well, I mean, right. Why are we doing these extra long episodes then? Can we just go back? Because this was hard to watch. Like, it was so dumb to me. Like, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. So that was kind of disappointing because I usually really enjoy like the things that they put on and I, find that it is entertaining, but it really missed the mark for me on Wednesday. And what's funny is that really stood out to me. I'm like, I have to be sure to tell Josh how unimpressed I was with Adrian and his laundry and Ava and her big booty. I mean, that's really how I felt. That's really how I felt.
I like it. Okay. I mean, I thought the laundry thing was kind of funny, but the Ava thing was kind of dumb. I'm like, okay, I don't need to see this. I don't really care. But you make a good point of like, there's an extra half hour. Why are we like, let's show gameplay.
Well, that's what my next thing was going to be. Was I was going to say I would much rather see a couple minutes of a conversation between house guests about their next move, what they're hoping happens, what talking to somebody about, hey, will you throw veto or whatever. Which I will say, when Ashley was talking to Zach, was that Sunday or was that Wednesday? Well, it would have been Wednesday. When she was talking to him and giving him all those points why he should not want to try to win the veto. I mean, she was gaming there. I was impressed with her gameplay there because I was like, she's really doing a good job of talking him out of it, saying, why get the blood on your hands? You don't need to win it. You're already safe. And so I thought she did a good job with that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I really thought Ashley was going to be easy first week boot. And the fact that she pulled it out and won that veto, I was so surprised. And what's crazy is usually the show edits it well, kind of tying back to what you were saying, is it edits it well to kind of like foreshadow who's going to win the veto. The episode did not do that at all. Like, you watched that episode, you had no idea that Ashley was going to be winning that veto because she was hardly in the episode at all.
Well, she didn't even think she was going to win the veto, or she was playing it up. Maybe she was, because she was telling Vince, like, I'm not going to win competitions. And she was already a contender the first night. And, then she won this veto. And it's like, I don't think anybody's going to start counting her out. I mean, I don't think she has any more of a target on her back at this point. I think that there's other fish to fry. Yeah. Like on this episode where we have the Jimmy Keanu situation. So I guess we should probably kind of go into that a little bit. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was going to dive into that. Well, first of all, let me just say I love Keanu. I hate Jimmy. Same. And the fact that Jimmy played it off like it was Keanu doing it, I'm just like, no, dude, you started this. Oh.
Well, it was so hypocritical, the whole thing. It's like, Keanu, you shouldn't be talking about, saying my name, but that only happened because you said his name. So why is it okay for you to do it and not him? And then the other thing was that he was saying, you need to admit that you lied to my face. Well, he lied to Keanu's face. So what are you doing? Like, I don't understand what you're doing. He's all over it. He's so messy. And he's also a hypocrite too, in that he's like, no, I don't want Rachel here. I'm happy that Rachel's here. I don't think Rachel should have safety. And then he's like, well, now I want to work with her.
Right.
Blah, blah. He's just like an idiot because you never and then he's like, I'm so evil. And like the fact that he legitimately thinks he's like the mastermind behind this whole season. And what has he really done at this point?
He's the new Raven. Remember how Raven would say that she was the mastermind the whole season? It's like, no, you didn't do anything.
Just the delusion.
Yes.
The absolute delusion. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
And his laugh, the laugh that he has to do every time he says something.
There's so much about him that's so painful, and I don't know. I'm obviously not rooting for him. I don't think the whole blow up at the veto meeting, it made him look like an idiot, but I love then this is going into Thursday episode though, when you see Rachel telling him, encouraging him to do it, knowing it was a bad move. That you cannot deny she is so good at this game. Even, you would think that she would have had the biggest target on her back, and she's playing phenomenally. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her.
I know.
Because I really think a lot of these people are her allies right now. Like, I don't think, aside from Zay, ended up how Zay was going. I mean, even with that speech, nobody was like, okay, let's take him up on that. Let's take him up on that.
Yep, 100%. And you know what? She came into the house on 12 and 13, a target week 1. She has already made a name for herself, and she was not a target. And granted, she was safe, but I don't think she's going to be in danger next week, this following week.
Right.
Unless
there's
Zach wins HOH, but I don't know who won the HOH. I'm not reading the spoilers. I'm waiting for Sunday's episode, but
I read the spoilers, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. But
Thank you.
I have no.
But yeah, I think she's playing a fantastic game, and I know she has a bad rap. But people discredit her a lot online for not being a good player, and so I think she's really coming this year to prove that she is a good player, and I think she's doing a very good job so far of it.
You cut out for the majority of what you just said. I could not hear you at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. I sat up. Maybe I should sit back down. Okay. She gets a lot of discredit online for not being a good Big Brother player. Yeah. But I think this first week here kind of proved that, no, she is a very good player, especially with that Jimmy move, especially with Thursday episode flipping the votes, making sure that Zay was going home. Like, it's incredible.
She's one of the greats. She's absolutely one of the greats. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't think at this point she has anybody who's gunning for her. I don't think.
No. And it really feels like, for the most part, it's actually almost like a guys versus girls type situation going on from what I kind of saw online. That most of the girls are together and then the guys are kind of on the other side.
That was going to be my next point that I was going to tell you, is that it really does feel like the girls are kind of ganging up and banding together on here. I think that they were pretty much in unison as far as their votes, well, except for Amy or Kelly. Because she's just freaking rogue and doesn't know what she's doing. But I'm here for it, and I'm rooting for the women. It would be awesome to finally see a season where women stick together. Because, and I mean, not just one or two, but like a whole group of women that go forward together. Because, well, I feel bad because this is going into Thursday's episode. That's when what is it, Burger Boys?
Yeah.
What was it?
Burger Brothers.
I hate that. I hate everything about that.
We'll have to talk about that because, oh my God.
Yeah. I hate everything about that. But I want to see the girls stay together and get these guys out. I mean, and especially the bros. We need to get the bros out, because I am so tired of seasons where there's these, big, strong, muscular guys that are just using that to, get far in the game, and they don't necessarily deserve it, other than they're just good at the physical competition. But have had terrible social games and stuff like that. Like Nikki, that was one of the worst seasons too, was when freaking Nikki won.
Yeah. Agreed. So unlikable.
The worst. The worst.
Yeah, so they've never had a boy versus girl season, and I hope we get that this year, because I would love to see it, like you said, because girls always seem to get catty towards each other, then they can't trust each other, And I don't want to see that. I want to see them come together and knock all the guys out. It would just be awesome to watch because I've never seen it before.
Well, and you know what's so interesting about that too is that, the girls always get, like you said, catty with each other. They get distrustful and stuff like that. But what's so funny is like the guys though are just as bad about. They're going to be just. It's Big Brother, so the guys are going to be just as bad about lying and throwing people under the bus and stuff like that. So it's so interesting to me that the girls are always so quick to like bail on each other, but then you're going to trust a guy who's going to lie to your face. I mean, look at what the Brigade did to Brittany.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't understand like why girls aren't more like, yeah, there's going to be some degree of deceit no matter what because you are trying to play for yourself. But I mean, a guy can do the exact same thing to you. So just stick together and, stick together and get the guys out. I would love to see that too. I completely agree.
Me too. And one thing to put another point to Rachel's belt is that she was always one of those catty girls in her past seasons where she would always target girls. I mean, she targeted Monet. She targeted Kristen, Grab a Life Vest.
Yeah.
And then she targeted, she wanted to make sure that Jeff and Jordan got out Cassie. And then,
yeah,
like, she does not like any sort of female adversary in the house with her. But this year, it seems like it's the opposite. She's actually agreeing to work with other women, and it's nice to see.
Yeah. Well, and I also think you can just see the maturity level of Rachel, how much she has evolved since her original season. She's definitely getting her one-liners in here and there, but she is so much more like calm. She's more sitting back and soaking it all in and planning she's much more strategic in that way as opposed to emotional. I feel like in her past season, she was very emotional, ready to get into fights, ready for, just trying to get drama. Now she's like, no, I'm here to win. I want to do this again, and I want to, take home the prize for my family. And she's just very like mature, and I'm here for it. I mean, I think she's doing fantastic. Every conversation that they show that she has, I'm like, wow, she handled that perfectly. I mean, she's definitely deserving of her legend status, I believe. So anybody who doesn't think so, like, I get that she was a lot of drama, but it was highly entertaining. But at the end of the day, she's a competitor too. I mean, she's good at competition. She's good at the social game. She's not just like nothing was ever handed to her,
Absolutely. No, it wasn't. She won her spot for sure.
I think too, what people forget is that she's very smart. And I don't remember who it was that was saying on one of the episodes, they're like, do you not watch? Like Rachel's got or maybe that was a TikTok that I saw. Maybe it was a TikTok. But they were like, are you forgetting? Like, she's a chemist. Like, she is very smart on top of it. So it's like, she's really someone you need to watch out for because she's also highly intelligent, and so she's just got a lot going for her, I feel like. And yeah, there is going to be a bit of a target on her back because she's won the game before. But, I mean, look at her. I mean, careful there. She made it far a couple times. She won, then she made it again to final 3. She won reindeer games. I mean, it can happen.
Yep. No, I completely agree with you. Good going, Rachel. Not a disappointment. Love having you on the show. Anything else you want to touch base on from Wednesday before we get into the veto meeting?
Let me ask you this, though. Do you think that if Rachel was not in this season, it would be would we be as invested at this point? I knew you were going to say that. Wow, but we didn't talk about the Jimmy's blow up at the veto meeting. We didn't discuss.
Right, I was going to touch base with that after if you had any other thing to say first. But before we get into that, no, because I like old school Big Brother, and Rachel seems like she's bringing the old school back. And it's just nice to have an old school player playing like an old school Big Brother player, because that's what I loved about Big Brother. Not this kumbaya, everybody get along, let's go with the house. It's just boring. But I'm not bored yet. I'm having a fun watching it. Right.
No, I agree. I also just don't want to see a bunch of guys dominating. I want to see the Burger Boys or Burger Brothers picked off one by one. Although it's hard because I do like Will, and Will was in the Burger Brothers. Who else was in it? It was Vince, which I'm kind of uh,
Yeah,
put by him.
Vince, Will, Zay, Zach, and Riley.
Yeah, I'm not. Although, yeah, I do have a point I want to bring up about Riley.
Oh, I'm going to bring it up something too. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we talking about the same thing, the vote?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
We'll talk about that on Thursday when we talk about Thursday. But yes, I think they have that written down because I'm like, what?
Okay. Right. Okay, great.
Okay. So moving on to the veto meeting. Kelly goes on the block. Obviously, I think we've already talked about this. I think this is the dumbest thing that Vince could have done. What do you think?
It was. He should have put Jimmy up, is what I think. I mean, I think that people would have voted him out if he was still on the block. I get that it's a risk, but was it Amy that on Wednesday's episode said he was playing a beep kind of game, and you kind of just touched on that earlier too. And it's like, yeah, he was making very safe moves. And the dumb thing is, why would you ever put your ally on the block? You know, she's. I mean, if that truly is the person that you're wanting to be at the end with, why would you risk her? So that was just a stupid move altogether. I think he should have put Jimmy up because I think he's ruffling a lot of feathers. That would have been good to have him on the block, even just to knock his ego down and to realize that people aren't thinking you're as great as you think you are, because I think that would have come to light. Like, I think people would have been like, well, actually, if you're sitting next to X, Y, or Z, I'm going to have to vote you out. And that may have been a little humbling for him. But I get at the end of the day why he did it, because he wanted those two to go after each other. I get it. But yeah, what was the original question?
Just how you felt about the replacement nominee and everything. So I think you kind of covered it. I think I was going to bring up the fact that I can't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday, but Kelly, I can't remember if it was Kelly and Vince or just Kelly, but Kelly was literally talking to somebody about Vince putting her up to kind of help Vince not get so much blood on his hands. And so I thought the whole point of her going up on the block is to avoid the suspicion that they're working together. Right. But if you're going to people and telling them, so what is the whole point of it then?
She's a terrible player, Jack. I mean, she's just awful. I didn't see that part. Sometimes I miss things here and there because it's obviously pretty busy here. But yeah, I didn't see that part. But wow, yeah, I don't understand that either. But she's probably, if I had to call out right now who I think is playing the worst game, it would be her. I mean, I think that her choices have been ridiculous. She put herself in danger, not offered to put herself in danger twice. I think that she's reckless. I don't think she thinks things through. And I mean, she's a pilot. Like, I feel like you should have some kind of intelligence, but her common sense factor seems way off.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. And I think I'm so sick. The thing that made me dislike Vince the most is the fact that he's like, I just don't want to get any blood on my hands. I'm like, it's Big Brother. Just put people up who need to go home to better your game.
Well, you know what I didn't like either was I didn't like his getting in the middle of the Jimmy and Keanu thing. Like, I didn't like his instigating it and then trying to backtrack on it, because it's like, you could have just stayed out of it and it still would have probably exploded. So I think it was when Keanu asked him, did Jimmy say my name or whatever? And he was like, yeah, he did. I felt like that bothered me for some reason. I didn't like that he told him. You know, I don't know why, but I just thought that was kind of messy on his part. And I'm just like, why? But like, why? Why are you instigating that? Because that could fall back on you now. Because now he can say, well, Vince told me that you did. Stay out of it, because it was already said and done anyway. So I think that he's kind of, I don't know. I just don't like him nearly as much as I did. It's hard. So we're going to have to pick our new favorite 3. We're going to have to pick our least favorite 3.
That's
we're going to
have
to
list.
Pick our new who's going to win, because obviously I'm not picking Kelly anymore. I don't think you're going to pick Jimmy.
Oh, I'm still gonna pick Jimmy. No, I have a new winner pick.
Okay, so I feel like so much has changed in the first week already that it's getting crazy
You know
for
what
sure.
pissed me off too? And I can't remember if this was
What?
Wednesday or Thursday because they run together because they're right after each other.
Yes,
But
yes.
Ava, when Keanu came to Ava, because Keanu trusts Ava, and then Ava like stabbed him in the back immediately
Yep,
and ran over and
yep.
told Jimmy.
But she's not my favorite from the get go. So I mean, she's kind of just giving me
I don't
mistakes.
even know why she's
I
there.
like her.
Like I don't feel
I
like
don't
she's even there
either.
to play the game.
I think she's there to get attention and to get a name for herself. And I told you from day one, I felt like she was not genuine, that it was an act. But, Keanu, he can be kind of emotional, but I feel like he's very genuine.
Yes.
And I don't like that, that she's kind of, if she's supposed to be this aura painter and all this stuff, like, well, where's your empathy at? Like,
Yeah.
you don't seem like you really care at all about him. And so, he seems like he feels like a bond with her, and she just keeps getting annoyed with him. And it's like, okay, but who else do you have though, either? Also, like who else does she really have a bond with? I mean, I didn't like the way she treated him. No.
I completely agree. And one thing I'll say about Keanu, I absolutely love Keanu. He's one of my favorites. We'll get to the top 3, but I don't feel like he's fit to play this game. I feel like he's too nice.
Yeah, and I think that he's going to be too honest. And that's, obviously, I don't like the sneaky playing, but you're never going to win if you're 100% honest. And I think he's going to be the type of guy who's going to be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I am going to vote you out. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I am going to have to go against you, or you would be the person I would put up. Like, I see him making those kind of mistakes just because he is so, like, I can't see him being any other way. Although I will say that conversation that he had with Jimmy when he was kind of like low key threatening him without threatening him, and
Yes.
he had his arm around him and stuff, that was the best TV on Wednesday night. That was my favorite part of the episode
Me
because
too.
I didn't expect that from him. And he's like, he kept saying it over and over again. And like, Jimmy's looking at me like, are you talking about me or anyone? He's like, oh, anyone. But he was messing with him.
It was
And it
like
was
some
just
mafia
so
shit.
funny.
I liked it.
Yes, I liked it too. And we talked also about naming our, picks for America's favorite, and I think he's definitely going to be a strong contender.
Absolutely. I mean, Rachel's going to win it probably, but it's probably going to, if she goes out early and people forget she was in the house,
right,
Keanu will get it probably.
Right. Yeah. He's definitely likable, and it's just, when you see someone really genuine, it makes you more drawn to them and more wanting to root for them. And I think that he gives off one of the most genuine vibes of anyone so far. So I think that's what is going to work in his favor for sure, as far as that goes.
Especially when he had that heart to heart with Rachel about his father.
Yeah.
Like that broke my heart.
Yeah.
Usually I don't really like, I mean, I feel bad for these people, but I don't really care about that type of thing when I'm watching these shows. Like I just here for the gameplay. Right. But that moment, I don't know, it touched me a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think too, it's just very much so like a good reminder. You watch the show and these people become like characters to us,
Yeah.
And it's like, it is humbling to watch it and remember like everybody there has a backstory. They have something going on in their lives, and stuff like that. And to see what exactly they're playing for and what, they've got waiting for them and everything like that. But I would say that it was in his first episode or whatever that he said that he was playing because he wanted to give money to his parents. I think he said that in his package. I want to say he did.
What? I'm sorry, you broke out.
That he said he wanted to give money to his parents in his original package on the first episode.
Oh.
And I think that's what I think it was him. Although I think Zach said something like that too. But I have to go back and watch. But it's just like, so then again, you see, like he keeps bringing that up. Like that's really what he's playing. Those are the people that I want to see win. Like somebody who really could use that money for a good cause. They're not just trying to, like they aren't already like super well off. Like that's the person that I want to root for.
I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, Keanu's up there for me.
Yeah.
So yes, the whole blow up with the veto ceremony, it just seemed like a spectacle to me. I thought it was pointless. I don't feel like anybody took it seriously with what Jimmy was saying. He just looked like an idiot.
Right. But I think that he thought that everyone was going to be like, Keanu's the worst. Let's get him out, and it's like, he thinks he's got so much more pull than he does. And that was why it was such a stupid move. Now he just looks erratic to everybody. So, I mean, but I think that's hilarious that Rachel told him it was a good idea.
I know. That was great. Her look to the camera I was laughing.
I mean, she knows exactly what she says for sure.
And it's funny too because I don't think anybody in the diary room said anything about it. I don't think they panned to anyone saying anything about the whole thing other than Rachel, Keanu, and Jimmy. I don't think anybody else made a comment about it. Did they?
No, not that I'm sure they did. Maybe they just didn't air it. But it was just embarrassing. He embarrassed himself. And when he's like, the only thing fake about me is these sunglasses, it was just so theatrical, like it wasn't even like if you had something like really good to say and you were calling it out. But I don't know if you saw this or not either, if you're not reading whatever. But originally, from what I saw from social media and TikTok, that have kind of kept me up on what's going on in the live feed. Originally at the veto meeting, he wanted to call out Rachel.
What?
He had no intention. Yes, he had no intention of calling out Keanu. His original thought was he was going to call out Rachel and tell everybody that they needed to get Rachel out and that she needed to be public enemy number one. That was his original plan. But then when Keanu and him kind of got into it, he changed it to Keanu. So even more power to her for encouraging him to do that, because it could have went south for her. Not that anybody. I mean, what did it do for Zay? Nothing.
Nothing.
But yeah.
That is stupid. Like, he just wanted to do it to just make a spectacle.
And he knew that it would be on TV then. Because if somebody blows up at a veto meeting, so he just wants attention. He just wants to, and he thinks, he probably in his head is like, America's going to love this because they love me so much. And it's like, no, we don't, Jimmy. You're obnoxious.
So, shall we move into Thursday's episode?
Absolutely.
The live eviction. So I didn't watch last season, so I knew nothing about this battle back, whatever it's called, blockbuster competition. But one thing I just thought of was it kind of ruins the idea of a back door, though.
Well, exactly. So I had thoughts about this as well, because basically my thoughts are, I see the point of it to an extent. There's 2 points to it in my one is that nobody doesn't have the chance to get themselves off the block. So exactly to your point, if somebody's getting backdoored, they still have a chance to fight for themselves. So is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. I guess it depends, because maybe they were concerned that like a fan favorite was going to get backdoored and they wanted to know that they at least had a chance to save them. So in that aspect, that's one thing. And the other thing that it takes away is I feel like in the past, we always knew, if you followed live feeds and stuff like that, you always knew on Thursday who was going to go. Like,
That's
it was
true.
almost you knew for sure. Now you don't know. Now you have no idea. And it also makes the week more interesting, because instead of everybody talking and debating between two people, they're talking about, a variety of scenarios, because we don't know the final two that are going to be up there. So I don't know overall if it's good or bad, but it definitely changes the game, and I can't decide if I like it or not. But I guess, like this week, I didn't really care because I didn't have a deep connection to any of those three. But eventually I might, and then maybe I'll be so thankful for the blockbuster, at some point. So I guess, there's pros and cons to it. But I'm surprised they actually brought it back this year, because I kind of did not expect that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fun. I that's kind of what I looked at it as too, is the backdoors get a chance to come back, because it's sometimes it's not fair when they're backdoored and they didn't have a chance to play in the veto. So I get that, but like that's part of the game. But I get it.
Right.
I mean, I feel like their chance to stay in the House is to campaign for the votes, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I had a problem with though was going to the Blockbuster is Kelly won. Good for her. But why did the camera not pan off of her with her crying and everybody congratulating her while people were talking and strategizing about the vote? I'm like, I do not care. I said, I don't want to listen to Kelly crying about winning the competition. I want to hear what conversations are being made, because I want to know who's going home.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with that too. And that's kind of the this last episode, we didn't get to see a ton of discussion other than, Rachel, fighting to get Day out. There really wasn't, and that's what I really enjoy, is those conversations where people are trying to flip votes and stuff like that. And that's what's really exciting to me. We didn't see that as much this week. So hopefully as weeks go on, we'll see a little bit more of that. But that's, the gaming aspect. Like, I would have rather seen more conversations like that again than, like I said, Adrian and, Laundry. And it's just, there's a lot of game being played, and I want to see that. Like, that's what we want to see. Like, sure, we could use some funny things here and there, but those things weren't worthy of television. I don't think.
100%. I agree with you. I wanted to see the campaign because I had no idea where the votes were going to go. I literally was on the edge of my seat. I thought maybe Amy was going to go home because I didn't.
Yeah, I did too.
I had no idea because, like you said, we didn't see like any of the strategic talk about who's voting who.
No, but so to the point we were going to talk about Riley is, I don't know what his reasoning was for why he voted the way he did. But if he voted because he thought, out of those two, I can beat Amy, I can't beat Day, I have more respect for him because he's playing the game then. Like, everybody should have wanted Day out. I mean, almost everybody should have wanted Day out because he is a big physical threat. And then they were saying too, he's got some smarts. Well, why would you want to keep him in the game then? Why would you do that? How could you beat him in the game? I would want to take somebody else out that, like, again, these big blonde guys, get them out, But so if that's why Riley ended up voting him, then I have a little bit more respect for him because I'm like, oh, okay, so you are playing the game. Like, you did come here to play, So what did you think about it?
What I think is that Riley doesn't know what he's doing. I think he went in the diary room. I think he was voting for who he wanted to stay. I don't know. I'm just playing. I mean, I really do think he's not the brightest, but and I could see that being a thing. I know. I shouldn't hurt him like that, but I also think that he has a crush on Catherine, and Catherine may have gotten in his ear.
Yeah, that's true too. That's a very good point. I didn't even think of that. But that's a great point.
That's probably what really happened.
But like for Will, again, I like Will. I got a soft spot for him. I understand why he voted to keep Day because he felt a connection with him, thought they were friends, knew he was safe with him. Like, I get that. But like, Kelly, what are you doing?
She hates Rachel. I heard someone say that on the feeds. Like, she has said that she doesn't want to work with her. She doesn't know why she's here. So I think she's against Rachel.
I don't know how you're here, Kelly, because you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Right.
Why don't you nominate yourself to go up again this? And what I didn't understand is when Vince put her up as the replacement nominee, and she was crying.
Yes. Oh my God.
Why? You practically begged him.
I'm just paranoid. I made a stupid decision. Yeah, I just did. I don't know if this was a good idea. Oh my God.
And the way she smacked that thing when she brought the crown up, and the way she was so here, I want it, look at me. It was just like, shut up, because you should have never been up there to begin with. You never should have been the one up there. And you should have made Vince pick someone else. If that's your number one, thought if she wasn't on the block, oh, I bet Kelly and Vince have something. Nobody, nobody would have thought that. I don't. So what? Why did you do that? I don't know what you thought you were protecting.
I don't know. And like I said, that's why I got mad that the cameras wouldn't pan off of her and everyone being like, congratulations, Kelly. It's like, you still have 2 house guests on the block. Like, can we focus on them? Like, she's out of the picture now. Good job.
The only thing that I can think is, for me, I thought 100% before I watched the show on Thursday or this morning, I thought she was. I thought there was no doubt in my mind. I'm like, she put herself up. She's going to lose, and they're going to vote her out.
I thought that
and
too.
I thought she was wrong. So that's the only reason that I can think why they kept it on her, because they thought America as a whole thought the same thing. And they're like, nope, look, she won it. No, we really want you guys to know, look.
Maybe.
She won it. Believe it or not. That's the only thing I can think, really, because I 100%, because I thought we would be having this conversation where I'm like, well, Josh, I guess she's not going to win. I know I picked her to win, but she's not going to win, obviously, because she's gone. I was shocked that she won. I did not see that happening.
No, I didn't even understand the game. I was still trying to focus on what they were even doing. I was so lost.
I don't know what it's. The only word I got was with. I don't understand what.
Me too.
Those words even said.
Unscramble the 4 letters and then find the item. I'm like, what it says with. What does that even mean?
Right. It was. Well, there was 4 different words, but I couldn't figure out what any of the other words were. So how she came up with that crown is beyond me. I'm sure they'll talk more about it on Sunday's episode. But yeah, that was bizarre to me.
Yeah. But so I mean, was it like that last year though when the person won the competition? Did the camera mainly focus on them? Because what I'm thinking is that it might be hard for them to navigate the cameras on the live show.
Oh, maybe. Really sure, to be honest with you. There was one competitor last year named Tucker. He was almost in it every week, and he won it almost every week. And so I don't really remember, because all I remember about it last year was that Tucker was almost always the winner. But it wasn't called the Blockbuster last year. I can't remember what it was called.
Blockbuster.
The BB Arena. The BB Arena.
BB Arena. But okay, yeah. I was just wondering, and I guess it's a little different with Tucker because I know he was the fan favorite. So
he was, yes. So I probably wouldn't have thought anything of it last year. Well, of course they're going to show Tucker.
Right.
Everybody loves Tucker. Right.
So the fight with Zay and Rachel. Obviously, they didn't show the whole fight on the broadcast. I watched the whole thing on the feeds through YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And Rachel didn't have a lot to say. She was calm the whole time. They were having a discussion. But she also didn't you know how bad she is at fights. I mean, she's never great at fights. She's terrible with comebacks. Right. But that's what makes great TV. And you could tell that she was not doing well in that fight at all. But at the same time, like, he was stuttering, and you could just tell he was uncomfortable and kind of scared.
Intimidated.
Yeah, intimidated. Yeah. But at the same time, like, she was doing a terrible job.
Yeah, she was. She was for sure, 100%. But from what I saw, but I think that it went great this week, though, overall, as far as Zay being gone. I'm not going to miss him at all.
No.
I thought he was terrible. I hated watching him. I didn't find anything about him enjoyable. And I told you, I don't like to say mean things about people because I just feel like it's bad karma to put it out there. So personally, obviously, I don't know him, but as a game player, I could not stand him at all. Not as him being a game player, not me, obviously. I don't play the game. But you know what I'm saying. I didn't enjoy him whatsoever. And I think it was a good move to get one of the, big, strong, muscular, macho guys out. Let's keep that up. Let's keep that momentum going. I don't have anything personally against Zach, but I want to see him go because he's he's the next one that's like, the typical pretty boy that they have on every season that, I don't want to see that going to the end again. I really don't. I don't want to see men at all, which, I mean, I know last year was the final two of women also, but I hated the way that played out also. Just because at the end it was like MJ, I feel like, completely handed the competition to Chelsea. Not that Chelsea wasn't deserving, but I think I think MJ really didn't care if she won or Chelsea won. That doesn't make a good game to me. If I'm in the Big Brother house, I want to win. I want that money. I'm not going to sit next to somebody, no matter how much I love them or how much of a best friend relationship we develop. Am I going to be like, no, I'm really okay if you win? I want to win. So if I have to cut you at the end, I'm sorry. But if it's going to get 750,000, 750,000, yeah, right?
Yeah.
For my family, I'm going to do that. MJ didn't have that drive. So it was just kind of terrible to watch. So I don't want to see that situation again this year either. There's so many annoying things that happen on Big Brother that I just don't want to see again.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. And that's why I stopped watching for so long. Because it's just same thing over and over again. It gets old. But, and then when you were touching base with Zach, I was so tired of seeing him bawl his eyes out. I was like, again, I mean, I know you were being nice. I don't like Zach at all. I can't wait to see him go. Him bawling his eyes out over somebody he met a week ago. Like, dude, come on.
Well, it was probably more so in his mind selfish because it's like, well, this is an ally for me that's walking out the door is, I mean, what I would think. More of ego based, like, well, that's one less number for me, and and trying to look, because I do feel like even in his package on the first episode, he was trying to look like this very wholesome, Christian boy, and maybe he is really a good, kind person, and maybe he was just emotional about it. But I think just with Big Brother in general, it's just very tired seeing that strong, muscular, pretty boy. That's for the typecast for that one. I don't know. I'm just kind of over that, I guess. Like you said earlier, I want to see guys versus girls, 100%, and I want to see the girls steamroll the guys. That would be amazing, and then the girls can all go after each other. Yep. That would be great. That would be fun to watch then, when they're not picking guys over each other, and even when it's not like a relationship. I just think that's just fun.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And so all the votes against for Amy to go was Adrian, Zach, Kelly, Will, and who was the fifth one?
They voted for Amy to go?
Yeah, who was the fifth one? Wasn't it 5? Who was the fifth one?
Yeah.
I think I'm missing a burger, bro.
Will. Did you say Will?
Yeah, I said Will. Adrian, Will, Kelly, Zach. I swear there was a fifth one.
There had to have been, because it was
8 to 5. Right? Yeah. Who was the fifth one? Why am I spacing right now?
Kelly was the only girl.
Kelly was the only girl, yeah. And it wasn't Riley.
Was it Keanu?
Oh, maybe it was Keanu. Maybe it was Keanu.
I think it might have been. It might have been Keanu.
I'm gonna look it up while we talk. But yeah, I think Adrian's playing a really good game, and what's crazy is that I bet Riley's gonna get off scotch-free now because that vote got thrown out there. They're gonna think Riley voted for Amy to go.
Yep. For sure. It's gonna be interesting to see how the next week, but I will say I miss the days too, which I know sometimes they'll still do it. But I like knowing on a Thursday night who won the HOH. I think that I don't like when they wait until Sunday's episode to show it, but I get that sometimes they have to. what it is, but I enjoy those ones. So I was disappointed we have to wait until Sunday to see that all play out.
I agree. Yeah, I don't like waiting either, but I'm not going to spoil it because I want to see it happen.
Yeah, I get it.
It was Keanu. I double checked.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it had to have been because I thought they were kind of buddies.
Yeah, they were buddies, but I think he's also close with Rachel, and he's not in the Burger Bros, which I'm actually surprised by.
Yeah,
which I'm glad.
don't like that alliance. I don't like that alliance at all. I don't like when guys want to exclude women from things, but it's totally okay with me if the women. I don't know. Because it's just so overdone. You know what I mean? I want to see something fresh and new and exciting. So yeah, boys versus girls would be fantastic. But a bunch of guys getting together and picking off the women, that's going to be so boring. But I'm glad they lost a number.
Me too. Me too. What a good alliance. We already lost one.
It's fantastic.
And I mean, how stupid of him to go after people while you're on the block trying to get votes. That is the dumbest thing you could have done.
It was, I mean, so stupid. So stupid. And he was not good at this game.
Nope.
So,
but he's gone. He's gone. We don't ever have to see him again. Clearly, there's not a battle back because Julie Chen shared the accomplice information with him. So, thank God.
But who would have wanted him to come back anyway?
Right. I'm just saying, there's no chance for him to come back now.
Right. And nobody wants him to. So we're in a good spot.
No. Okay. So, I think we covered everything. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on? From far as the episodes?
No, I don't think so. Everything that was on my notes we talked about. So.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll go with our top 3 and our least favorite 3. Who is your first pick for favorite?
Rachel, of course.
Same.
Rachel is going to be number 1 favorite.
Yeah, Rachel's my number 1 as well.
Of course she is.
Right. Who's your number 2?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm trying to think because I don't have my phone in front of me at the moment. I have a whole thing going on.
It's still really hard. It's still really hard to pick a top 3 and even a bottom 3, to be honest, because we didn't get a lot of showing of some of these house guests this first week.
That's true. So I guess at this point I'll say I really like Keanu. I really like Rachel, obviously. Let me see if there's anyone else that's sticking out. I'm not as big on Will as I was, but I think he also really wasn't showcased as much this week. So that's probably why that might change as time goes on. I do not like Jimmy. I know that much. But I don't think, I think it's going to be hard to pick a top 3 and a bottom 3. Maybe we should give it like another week or 2.
I agree.
And then we can, because it's so early, and I feel like we looked kind of dumb with our picks from last week, or from the jump choices. So I think we should wait on it.
We had our top 2 picks for winners as like the least 2 favorite people.
Exactly. So I'm like, what?
Funny. But yeah. So, I mean, overall, though, our favorites, I think we can agree, Rachel and Keanu, those are my 2 favorites. And I think you've already stated those are your 2 favorites.
Yes.
I really like those 2. And then we can agree that our least favorite is Jimmy. And then is there anybody else that you would throw in there as someone who you just dislike?
I don't like Ava at this point. I don't like Ava. Could she win me over? Possibly. But I'm not a fan of her.
Okay. I will jump on. Go ahead.
I'm not crazy about Amy either, but she's a number for Rachel.
That,
So,
yeah, exactly. Like, I don't feel like she's this great game player, but she's a number for Rachel. And I almost kind of wish Rachel would have. I mean, I get the whole mom squad thing, but I wish she would have found someone a little bit better at the game to align with. Because
well,
Rachel
I think that
did all the.
I think she just
Go
knows
ahead.
she can beat her in the end.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I think she also just knows confidently that she's going to beat her in the end too. Like
That's true.
she doesn't want to take a strong player because then she's going to have some competition. She knows that Amy's not good at the game. I mean, she's not going to be probably the best competitor. So I think she thinks I could definitely beat her. So I'm sure that's a part of it, you know. But I do think they have a bond. I think she does really like her. Like I don't think that she's, you know, her intention is to, you know, backstab her. I think she really does want to take her to the final too. But she's going to take someone she knows she can beat, and I think that she knows she could easily beat him.
Yeah, and no, I agree with that. But Rachel needs to realize she has to get to the end, though. She can't get to the end. She has to have somebody to win competitions to help her.
Exactly. Exactly. But I think she is trying to form bonds with other people,
Yeah.
which she's going to have to do. So, I mean, at this point, she really rallied the troops to get Day out, and all the women went on that side with her. So that would be, like I said, that would be so fun to see if it, you know, continues to play out that way. So I hope that it does. I hope that it does.
I agree. I will throw Zach in as one of my least favorites. I just feel like I don't think he knows what he's doing. He's just there for the show. And then I'm trying to think of my other least favorite. Honestly, it's slowly becoming Vince. From everything he's been doing and from what Julie said, like it just sounds. And I just feel like I'm tired of the I don't want to get my hands bloody. I just want to do what's smart for me. I don't want to put I have a final two, but I'm gonna put her up on the block. Like what? It doesn't make any sense.
I agree. And as far as favorites go, I mean, I can't, aside from Rachel, have strong feelings about anyone because we're so early in. But I see potential for Ashley. You know, she's shown that she's a competitor. You know, she's, you know, so I feel, and especially now knowing what I know about Shower Date, I feel that, you know, she might be someone that, you know, really kind of wins us over as time goes on too. So I feel like she's.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm looking forward to see what Ashley brings to the table. Like I didn't expect much of her, but when she won that veto, I was like, okay. And then the fact that she still didn't get any really spotlight for her winning that veto, I don't know. I don't know what's weird, what's going on with the edit, but it just doesn't seem to like her much.
Yeah. Well, no.
And that's just that's a shame. But I like her so far. I don't really have anything against many people.
No.
But I mean, yeah, we'll see how next week goes.
Right.
But I will say that I do have a new winner pick. Do you have a new winner pick?
I don't at this point. I don't think I could say with certainty anyone. But please tell me who you are.
I think Adrian's gonna win it.
I think Adrian's gonna win it. Okay. At this point, I don't like him as much. So I feel like that would be a little disappointing for
what
me.
Did he do? Point. What did he do though that made you dislike him? Because he was hardly on there.
Because he voted Amy out, and I don't like that he kept voting. And isn't he in the Burger Bros?
No.
Whatever the hell. No, he's not.
No, he just threw a rogue vote out to cause drama.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he knew Zay was going home, but he just wanted to vote against Amy to cause like a little bit of waves, which I like. I like that type of gameplay.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. I thought he was picking because I heard him say to Rachel the one moment when they weren't showcasing Kelly after the win, I have to vote to keep him to keep my word. So it sounded like he had made a promise today that he would vote to keep him.
He said something different, though, to Julie when he was doing the vote. He said something like, because I want to stir up the pot or something, I'm going to vote out Amy.
No, he said, I'm going to go against everybody, but I do something.
I don't know.
Because I thought that it sounded like he had some kind of allegiance to Zay, and that's what he told Rachel when she was trying to get him to vote. And he was like, I'm going to keep him.
But then maybe I took it the wrong way.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to watch that again, too. I don't know if I'll get to, but that's how I took it, at least. Because when he was talking to Rachel, that's definitely what he told her. That he was going to keep his promise, so he couldn't vote against him. Or was it that?
And when did he say that? They said that on the episode?
Yeah, right after Kelly won the...
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Rachel. Yeah, well, but now I'm like, maybe it was Zach. Maybe it was Zach. I don't know, because it had the back of his head, and I could just see the dark hair. Maybe
no, that was Zach.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I remember watching her talk to Zach, because then she rolled her eyes at him.
Yeah. Okay, so that was Zach. Okay. Then I got confused. I don't know.
We'll have to rewatch it, but I think Adrian is. I think he was doing it to cause a wave into the house to stir up the pot. But I think it kind of backfired with Riley voting the opposite way. So I think had it been like 7-6, then it would have caused more waves. But with it being 8-5, it didn't really do anything.
Right. No, I agree with that too. But I'm very curious to see why Riley voted the way that he did. So that'll be something I'm definitely going to have my ears open for. And if he told anybody that he did, or if he kept that to himself.
Well, clearly he's not in tune with the Burger Bros, or he doesn't know what he's doing. So.
Right. But if he voted him out just for the sole fact of thinking, well, I'm going to vote out who I think I could be, or
I don't think so. I think he did it for Caitlin.
You don't think so? Okay. Well, if he's going to play the game like that, that's not good either. But I'm so glad he voted out Zay.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll see more on Sunday. I'm sure they're going to show like what was talked about and discussed before the vote and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. But is there any other points you wanted to add before we ended this discussion?
No, I don't think so. I think we hashed it all out for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. So I'm looking forward to see what this next week brings. I know you have more information than I do with the HOH, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. What'd you say?
I said my lips are sealed.
Okay, good. We'll see Sunday. But thank you all so much for listening. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you on next, or we won't see you, but you'll hear us talk on next week. So thanks so much for listening, and have a great day, everyone. Bye.